For our loadout, I recommend grabbing a Molotov or a combat axe, as well as these gobblegums here, max ammo, insta-kill, and idolize. Max ammo is very critical, I think, because we don't get any max ammo drops in the boss fight. However, parting gift here with Vulture's Aid will give us our wonder weapon ammo back, and then Tribologist is going to help a lot. Welcome in everybody, XWeaverX. Let's hop right into this. So the first thing we're going to do is follow the story prompts to build the elevator. Now, we're going to come here into the library. Up top here, we're going to shoot this dude. He's going to drop us a fuse. Now, you can grab this fuse here before you even go into the elevator room. So just keep that in mind. And then we're going to head over here to the director's quarters, shoot up top there, and that's going to give us our circuit board. And from here, head back to the elevator room so we can repair the elevator. You can do it right behind it. And then we're going to take the elevator down here to the mainframe, and we're going to be greeted by Sam. And what we want to do from here is run over to this door. We're going to open this door up. That's going to take us to the service tunnel. And then we're just going to follow the path right over here to go get ourselves a free Casimir. Now, we're going to be using this Casimir to get one of the canisters. There's going to be a total of 3 canisters we're collecting throughout this Easter egg. So I'm going to show you how to get all the canisters now. Head over here to double tap, and right below double tap, you're going to see a canister inside the window. Throw your Casimir on the outside of the window. Make sure it's on the outside. If you throw it on the inside, it's not going to count. But when you throw it on the outside, that Casimir is going to suck up that canister, and we're going to get one of the canisters out of the 3. The next canister requires 2 tomahawks, so you can grab one there at spawn, and then you can grab another free one here by Samantha's bedside. And you can also load into the game with one or craft one at the craft table. Now head down here to the mainframe chamber, and you're going to see this gas chamber here with the letter B or A above it. Take note of which letter you have. And if you're having trouble finding that chamber, it's to the left of the crafting table down here. So now we're going to head over here, and this is where we're going to use our combat axes. You're going to see these gas valves. We're going to aim slightly above the middle one and throw it to turn it on. And then here you need to either throw it at A or B, whichever one you had. So make sure you hit all 3. You're going to get a dialogue from Sam. And then you're going to head right back over to where that gas chamber was, and you need to use an explosive to open it up. You can also use Molotovs as well, or you can use like the GS-45s. Just make sure you hit it with an explosive. So there we have it. There's our second canister. For the final canister, we actually have to go ahead and build the Mark II ray gun. So head down here to the mainframe chamber at round 10 or later. But at round 10, this lab technician zombie spawns in. So now we want to go ahead and body him. But before we do that, maybe consider dropping a like on this video. I mean, you don't want to end up choking on a Popeye's biscuit, right? Go ahead and pick up the floppy disk, and then head over to the East Foyer and interact with the computer here. This is going to insert the floppy disk by doing so, and it's going to start this fax machine up. Now, this is also going to spawn in a whole bunch of vermin. So go ahead and kill all the vermin, and once you kill all the vermin and a little bit of time has passed, come back over here and interact with the fax machine. Take a look at the word after protocol. In my game, it is Yeti. Your game, it may be different. Whatever the word is you have, just write it down, and then we're going to head over to the nursery. Once we arrive to the nursery, head over to this chalkboard, and now we want to go ahead and spell out whatever word we were given. In my game, it is Yeti, so we're going to find the Y on the board. We're going to write down how many letters are in that group. So in this case, there are 5 letters in this group, so my first digit's going to be 5. Then I move to the next letter, which is E, again because my word is Yeti. And in that group, there are 7 characters. So now I'm going to write down 7. And then I'll move to the T. In that group, there's 8. And then I'm going to move to the I. And in that group, there are 5. So my 4-digit password is going to be 5785. I'm going to write this down. Whatever you have, write down as well. And also, if you have the word Yeti like I do, it's not guaranteed to be the same combination. This does switch up every game. So keep that in mind. 5785 might work for you for Yeti, but it might not. With our newly acquired 4-digit PIN code, we're going to come over here to the service tunnel, input it here. This is right of the gas valves that we activated earlier with the tomahawks. This is going to be a HVT Doppelgeist, a very strong one at that. Go ahead and body him. He's going to drop us a Severed arm, and this Severed arm we can use to unlock the Mark II ray gun. We'll go ahead and grab this max ammo real quick, and then we're going to head back here to the left, and through this door here that you do have to buy. It is a buyable door. We're going to head through there, and then we can go into the armory. Now, once we come in here, you're going to see that beautiful Mark II ray gun. Interact right here with the Severed arm, and ka-chow, baby. That is how we get our Mark II ray gun. Now that we have our Mark II, we can go collect our last canister. There's going to be 4 crystals that can only be destroyed by shooting it with the Mark II. One of the locations is here at the southwest balcony left of PhD. Another location is going to be at the East Foyer where we did the fax machine up in the ceiling. Another location is going to be here at spawn. This is to the left of quick revive. And our final location is going to be in the service tunnel right outside the armory. So you can go ahead and take the fast travel here if you would like. It's 500 points, so keep that in mind. But right here, right outside the armory is going to be our last one. So go ahead and shoot all 4 of them. One of them is going to contain that empty canister. So now that we have all the canisters, we can go ahead and upgrade the ray gun. Now the ray gun is going to have 3 different variants that you can choose from. For the Easter egg, you do have to build all 3 variants, but you don't have to wait until you have all 3 canisters to do so. You can actually begin building one of the ray guns as soon as you get your first canister. For simplicity's sake though, I decided to wait so I can keep everything together for you guys in this video. You can just check the time description down below to figure out which ray gun you need help with building. The first ray gun we're going to be upgrading is going to be the Mark II-R. This is the toxic sniper one, so let's go ahead and show you how to get that started. So now I'm going to show you where all the pods are that I know of on the map. One spawns there at spawn. There's another one right here at spawn. Now you have to use explosives to open these up. I did want to test it out if you could put the grenade launcher on, and it actually does work as you see here. But you have to open them up with any type of explosives. Molotovs do work as well. I have not got around to trying incendiary rounds, so somebody let me know down in the comments if that works. And then there's another location here. I'm just going to run through all the locations again that I know of, just to try to help you guys out. So there's another location back over this way. This is the southwest balcony. It can spawn right up top there. And then another one can spawn here at the west balcony. Now this is right over here by double tap. And then if we go down here behind the double tap machine back in this corner, it can spawn there as well. And then another location, and the final location that I know of is right here at Speed Cola. Those are all the locations that I know of. If you guys know of any other locations, drop them down in the comments to help others out. I'd really appreciate it. So once we have collected 4 seeds, we want to head over here to the conservatory and input our canister here. And there's going to be 4 incubators around this area. Here's one of them right here. You go up and hold interact to place your seed. Here's another one. Now you can do this one at a time. You can do them all at a time. I would recommend sticking only to 2 if you really feel up to speed to do it. If not, you can just do 1 at a time. That's perfectly fine. But what we're going to do is we just got to protect them. So that's what I was saying. It's more easier to do if you only do 1 to 2 at a time. But you're just going to protect them. And this takes about 46 seconds for each one that you place to go ahead and blossom. So all you need to do is just run around, make sure the zombies aren't hitting it. If you fail this step, you have to wait till next round to try again. Not a big deal, but it will set your back around, so just keep that in mind. And you'll know it's done because the toxic bar will go up as you see the first one just finished, and now the second one just finished. And you can also go look at the plant itself to see it being done. This is what it's going to look like when it's fully done. It's going to have like this green aura, smoke coming up, sucking up from the top there. And that's how you know it's done. Now the third location, these 2 locations, I don't really like doing together at the same time. It's a little bit more trickier than the other one. So I'm going to start with this one here. We're going to do the same thing, rinse and repeat for about 46 seconds, protecting it. So there's our third one complete. Now you can do these in any order, I should mention too. There's not a certain order you have to do them in. And then if you need ammo, come right back up top here. There's an ammo box there. And then this is the one I always do last. Now you can also use this trap right here behind me. If you get into a pickle, that can also help. So don't be afraid to use that if you need the extra help. So now we've just completed it. It says objective complete. You can look at it. It looks done. We're going to head back up where we deposited that canister. And now when we come up and collect it, it's going to be the toxic canister. We want to take this back to spawn. And we're going to be able to craft the Mark II-R ray gun. And from here, we're going to head to Speed Cola. In front of the machine, we're going to have a canister machine. Insert your canister. This is going to spawn in an abomination. Don't kill him just yet. We're actually going to use him to electrify 3 of the small rocks around this arena. And if you have more than 1 player, it's going to spawn in more than 1 abomination, which actually could help you speed up this process. On solo, it's a little tedious because he likes to dilly-dally quite a bit. But essentially, we're going to get him to electrify this rock here, and then the rock to the right of me there, next to that KSV wall by. And now that we have got him to electrify all 3 rocks, we now want to get him to do his charge dash into all 3 of those rocks. Once he charge dashes, they're going to float up into the air. So I got 2 out of the 3. Now I'm going to get this 3rd one here. And after we get all 3 of them struck, the abomination is going to die. And now we're going to have this portal here in the middle. And you're going to see these stones giving this portal energy. And we're going to get a whole bunch of vermin spawning in. These vermin are going to try to jump down onto this portal and siphon that energy. So you have a time limit here. So do be mindful of that. Anytime one of these vermin jump on top of it, it is going to siphon some of that energy away. So you want to just make sure you're killing all of these vermin before they can even get on top of this portal here. And once we have successfully completed this, head back up to where Speed Cola is, grab your canister. It's now going to be filled with explosive energy and be called the Explosive Canister. And from here, we're going to head right back to spawn where the portal is, as that's going to be the fastest way to get to where we build this ray gun. And this ray gun is going to be the Mark W.
Fuck. This place again? Looks like it's firefight o'clock.
And for our final ray gun, we're going to be doing the Mark IIP. Head over here to where PhD Flopper is, and right outside the room here, in this little crevice here, is going to be a reflector. Now there's going to be 2 of these reflector plates that we have to collect. The second one is going to be back over at spawn. Here to the right, a quick revive is going to be our second reflector. Now these 2 spots are always the same every single game. They do not have any other set spawn points. It's always those 2 locations. So there's one more thing we need before we can do the next ray gun. We're going to destroy all these white Janus boxes that we come across in the game. You can go ahead and destroy these as soon as you get into the game. For simplicity's sake, I waited to get everything into this one nice section of the video. But essentially, you're going to run around the map. You're going to see these white Janus boxes, and you want to go ahead and destroy them. We're looking for an essence bomb in one of these. It's always randomized. It's never the same. So you just have to go through and destroy all the boxes you come across. Now I'm going to show you all these locations that I am aware of. If I miss any locations, feel free to drop them down in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Right here though is the essence bomb that we're looking for. You can get this right at the start of the game. You just have to go destroy all the boxes that you come across. There's a few other box locations here that I want to show off before we go to the next part. And there's one right here. It didn't spawn this game, but it is a location. So keep that in mind that one game they might spawn in a game for you, and then another they might not. But these are all the locations that I am aware of, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you them all. And then right here is the Speed Cola area. Right to the right, I forgot to look to the right, but there's one that spawns there by the KSV wall by. And then we have one here in the East Foyer, one here in the library, another in the study right here, and then one here at the east balcony. Head down here to the service tunnel. Make sure you do have that essence bomb. And to the left of the tier 3 armor buy, we're going to have a wall here that we can interact with to place the bomb. Go ahead and place it down to blow up the wall. And then we're going to go ahead and head right in here. When we get in here, we're going to have a light puzzle. So put your canister down, and then we're going to have the 2 light reflectors that we got. We're going to set them on both of these here. Now the way this puzzle works is we're reflecting light off this beam into the Doppelgeist. Now there's going to be 3 of these Doppelgeists around the room. And here's one here, another is here, and then the final one is right over here. You can do these in any order, but essentially you want to have the light beam shining on it. Then you want to melee this crystal. That's going to shoot this light beam across the room here into the Doppelgeist, and it's going to animate the Doppelgeist. From here you just want to go ahead and kill it. And then you're going to rinse and repeat this process. So I'm just going to leave this whole little clip unedited so you can see how I solved the puzzle. It's really not that hard. I'm just going to come over here and hit that one time. And then I'm going to actually hit it again because I realized, wait, that's not right. So I hit it one more time. So that one you hit twice. And as you can see, now it's lighting up the other Doppelgeist across the room. So the way I'd recommend doing things is just changing one at a time to see what it's doing, and then kind of work your way from there. But again, once it's lighting up, just go ahead and melee that crystal to shoot the beam into it. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to take the one over here by this cave, and then we're going to go up this little hill here. We're going to set it down. We're going to melee this one time. This has been the same for me every single game for this one up top. And then I'm going to melee that. And then I'm going to melee it once more. And then as you see, now it's reflecting into that. Now this last Doppelgeist is actually the HVT Doppelgeist. It's like the same one that was locked up with the pin code that we unlocked. So this one's a lot more aggressive and has more health. But I do have a Pack 2 ray gun right now, so it's just absolutely melting. No issues whatsoever. So go ahead, destroy that last Doppelgeist, and then we can go collect our light canister. Once you have your light canister, we're going to head over here to the director's quarters, pardon me. And right here, we're going to be able to go ahead and craft our Mark II-P ray gun. Now we're going to start the ritual step. So take the purple ray gun here to the elevator room and interact with the machine there. We're going to have a sack step. Also, every ray gun has its own little unique ability. The purple ray gun will spawn in a portal on the floor. When you stand in it, you become invulnerable to all damage. Very, very good. Once you finish the sack, jump through the portal. We're going to grab this ritual elixir on the table. This spawns every single time in this spot. Jump back out of the portal, and then we're going to take a left up the steps. There's going to be a glass here that we interact with. Just hit your interact key. This is going to summon in a disciple. Go ahead and body it. Once you body it, we're going to rinse and repeat this 2 more times at 2 other locations. The next one's going to be back here at spawn on the bench here under this bridge. Now you can do these in any order. It doesn't matter what order you do. After that, we're going to head back here to where the dinosaur is. And right in front of the dinosaur on this bench is going to be our last one. Once we've defeated all 3 rituals, we're going to head back to the elevator room. And now we're going to have a set of 3 numbers. From left to right is the way we want to write it down. Once we have our code, we're going to head over here to where death perception is. And we're going to go ahead and enter that in. This is going to give us the antler carving ritual item. Go ahead and grab that, hop back through the portal, and set it down right here. This is going to start a lockdown, and we have to kill this disciple with the purple ray gun. It's going to have shields. You just rinse and repeat. Grab the max ammo, and then grab the centennial artifact. Now the next thing we want to do is find this bell. We're going to come in here to the study. It can be in all these little spots here, but you have to break the glass to be able to pick it up. So just come into this room, break all the glass. You can use the Samtacs, use the GS45s, whatever you want to do to break all the glass, and just spam your interact key until you find the bell. Now you want to grab brain rot on one of your weapons and head back to the elevator room, and in this box, go ahead and interact to get the sconce. Head back to where the T-Rex is, interact with the wall here next to Jug. Now we're going to play a game of Simon Says. We're going to do this 3 separate times. You just do this by going up to the light and holding your interact key, and you're just going to do whatever pattern it shows. Again, you're going to do this 3 separate times. Now in this game, I got all the patterns to be on the left side. This one was super easy. Other games I've had it a little bit more difficult where it goes back and forth between the left and the right side there on that light. But in this game, again, it was just the left side. So just follow whatever pattern you have and you should be good. So head down to the cellar, interact with this right here. Make sure you have the blue ray gun. This is not going to work unless you have the blue ray gun. All these little portraits we activate, we have to have specific ray guns for. Once we complete it, jump through the portal for good measure, and then we're going to hop right back out. Head up to where the bar is, and now we can put the bell down. We weren't able to put the bell down until we went through the portal and did that initial step. Now we want to get a turn zombie. When we get a turn zombie, we want to go interact with the bell to get the zombie to serve us a drink. This can definitely be a little bit difficult with the spot that we're at, so if you need to, pop the ether shroud like I did to make sure you don't go down. The zombie's going to serve up the drink that we need. Once he puts it down on the counter, we can go ahead and interact to pick it up. So once we pick it up, we're going to head back downstairs, hop through the portal, and set the whiskey bottle down on the table. This is going to spawn in a mangler and a whole bunch of vermin. Same deal, we have to shoot them with the blue ray gun to break the shield, and then go ahead, once we finish them off, pick up the centennial artifact. From here, get the yellow ray gun, head over to the library, interact with the machine here to do another sack step. Once we finish the sack step, we're going to hop through the portal for good measure. And now we need to get 3 separate parts, being the audiobook, leisure, and nuclear ID badge. The nuclear ID badge can spawn in the fireplace there next to the elevator. Here at the study, or right here at the east foyer. Now the ledger can spawn right here at the top of the steps in the east foyer. It can also spawn at the computer desk here left of the bar. And then the audiobook can spawn right here outside the yellow portal on the top of the briefcase, and then right here at the study. We have to activate our ether shroud to get these objects to appear. Again, the nuclear ID badge is 1 out of the 3 fireplaces, and the ledger is 1 out of the 2 spots there that I showed, and then the audiobook can spawn in 2 spots as well. So run by all these locations with ether shroud active. If you need another charge of ether shroud, head down to the pack-a-punch room, and right behind the pack room, right here on the desk, you can interact with this canister to get a recharge for free. After we get all 3 parts, head back to the library, interact with these books here. We're going to do the sideways 6, then we're going to do the half circle here, and then we want to do the 3 circles. It's always the same order. The books can appear in a different order on the shelf, but it's always sideways 6, half circle, and 3 circles. Head in here, grab the nuclear plant inspection report, hop through the portal and set down the report. This is going to start the last sacrifice, which is an amalgam and a whole bunch of toxic zombies. Again, we have to use the yellow ray gun, break the shields, and get it done. Grab your max ammo and pick up the Centennial artifact, and from here we are able to go into the boss fight. Before we go in, I would recommend getting the round 25 so you get the Wunderfizz spawn in here. You can grab all the extra perks that you need. Also, I would really recommend doing the side Easter egg to get the Wunderwaffe. It is very, very good at crowd control, and I will show you how to do that right now. If you don't want it, you can just skip ahead. To get started on the free Wunderwaffe, we have to be far enough in the quest in which we go through the portal and destroy one of the HVTs that have the shields. Once we do, we can come up here to Samantha's room with any of the ray guns, and we want to shoot this pile of laundry under her bed. Once we do that, it's going to spawn in like a purple wisp, and basically what this is going to do is this is going to go ahead and spawn in 3 objects that we have to go shoot. The first one is here at the east balcony right next to double tap. So go up and shoot it with one of your weapons or the ray gun. It can be a little finicky, so if a bullet weapon doesn't work, try your ray gun. And this is going to start possessing the object in which it flies around, and you want to destroy all the things around that object and then shoot the actual object that got possessed. Once you've done so, you'll get that wisp noise. The second location is going to be here at the spawn. Same deal, shoot all the objects. GS45 works really well as it does a huge AoE. Makes it very easy to hit the possessed object. And then finally, we're going to come over here. This is actually a picture of Richthofen's family sitting here next to Jug. Go ahead and shoot that. As you see, I had to switch to my ray gun. It was being a little finicky. And at any point, if you fail this, just wait till the next round to try again. Once you finish all 3 of them, you're going to head to the elevator and head down. Once we get to the bottom of the elevator, just look up, and around the room there, it's going to be floating. Just go ahead and shoot it. Once you shoot it, you're going to get yourself that free Wunderwaffe. And this thing absolutely melts, dude. It's so, so good. So I really recommend getting it before we go into the boss fight. So before we go in, I like to train here to get my points back up and grab anything else I want to take in. Highly recommend getting the Wunderwaffe up to pack 2 if you're going to be taking it. Take the blue ray gun in at pack 3. It's going to do a lot of damage. Grab yourself a chopper gunner, as well as a self-revive and anything else that you might need. Once we're ready, we're going to come up here in front of Sam, interact here to go ahead and start the boss fight. So this boss fight can get pretty difficult pretty quick, as the Z-Rex is very aggressive, so you want to try to keep your distance at all times. He's going to be spewing out toxic enemies as well as toxic puddles that you don't want to step in. And then you also want to watch out for that tail whip, as it can damage you pretty quickly. So we're going to have these toxic enemies spewing out the side of the T-Rex when he eats them. Those are the crit spots. You want to try to aim for those. And then at some point, he's going to hop up on these rocks here. You can shoot him for a quick second, but then he becomes immune to all damage. He's going to spew out this acid cloud, so make sure you dodge that. If you just stay back towards the ammo bar, you should be fine. I was being really greedy and I wanted the extra ammo. But at this point, the T-Rex is still on the ledge. He's going to summon a whole bunch of super sprinters. This is where the Wunderwaffe comes super clutch. Again, because of the crowd control, as you see here, this thing is absolutely dominating and holding the crowds for me. So this is what I would recommend if you have it. Just run around, shoot a couple shots off to manage those crowds. And eventually the Z-Rex is going to jump down. It's going to get progressively more difficult as he's spewing out more toxic enemies, more enemies in general, and more of these toxic puddles. This is where the Tribologist PhD perk comes really in clutch, because it increases your slide speed and your distance. So this is where this comes super clutch, because you constantly want to be moving here. And you want to make sure you're not running into those puddles. If you run into the puddles, it's going to completely halt you down. And once he jumps back up on the ledge, we're just going to rinse and repeat and hold our area at the back wall here. Now shooting him in the eye does extra damage as well if he doesn't have the toxic guys on his side, but you need to watch out for the headbutt. As you see, it'll do a lot of damage very quickly, and it staggers you. He also likes to combo this with hitting you into the toxic spore puddles here, which slows you down even more. So you have to be very careful. If you get headbutt and then get stuck into that, it's going to be a very bad time for you. So here at end game, I like to stick to the center here. Try to just go in between these little rocks here at the center. Use your gobbles if you need to. Use your chopper gunner. I would save the chopper for the end game here where he gets super aggressive. Get those last shots in and kaboom, baby. We have just completed the Shattered Veil Easter egg. Congratulations. I want to show you there's 2 changes to the map that takes place if you decide to stick it out. When you come in here, obviously the Z-Rex is no longer here, but this opens up the playable space. We can actually go on this area and play now, which is really cool. And then there's another change here as well. We're going to head down the elevator, and as you see, Sam is no longer here. Where did she go? I have no idea, but it's a really cool change to the map. I think it's really cool that they included something like this. And if you guys found this video helpful, consider dropping a like and a sub. Check out my other Black Ops 6 content. I really appreciate it. And as always, peace and prosper. Much love. We'll be seeing you on the next one. Late.